Good day, good day. Welcome to another edition of W.A.B Sports Talk here on Thursday Night Sports Talk with your host, Wayne Buckingham Big Buck. Glad to have y'all part of the show tonight. We have a couple of our former Clemson alums and will be joining us on this special Thursday night of Sports Talk. Uh, Tune in. We got a great show coming live to y'all. We'll have Mr. Sports Analyst Mr. Tim Ray from Clemson University will be joining us. We'll be discussing our 2021 Clemson Tiger men's basketball, along with one of my former teammates that played in Clemson, Mr. Sharon Wright, will be joining the show with us here later. Uh, we know a lot of stuff has been going around uh, getting season, and this is the best part about college basketball. It's preseason is about to jump off, and you're about midway through football, and uh, we had some great games this past weekend in the ACC and the SEC. Uh, a lot of great teams and had a lot of great upsets and everything. But we waiting on my cast to join me here on W.A.B Sports Talk on Thursday night with that and everything, and hope everything is going good out there. Feel free to know that you can always come online. You can call in at 331-472-9828 to ask any questions to any one of our former analysts, or you can just come on, log in with a text message on the phone or anything. So most definitely. Hello, Mr. John. How you doing, Mr. Clayton? How you doing out there today? Uh, we're getting started up on our sports talk tonight. Hope everything going good down in Atlanta with you and everything, uh, and all that. So, but yes, we'll be coming live. We'll be coming with WAB Sports. Right now, I want to pay some bills. Want to play one of our commercials that we play every year. Waiting on my other host to join the show. We'll be right back with WAB Sports Talk here on Thursday night after the words from our local sponsors.
Nixon found incredible success in Major League Baseball. He holds records for stolen bases in a single game, as well as a single season for the Atlanta Braves. He played in numerous World Series games and has the record for most career stolen bases from a non-All-Star player with 620. But as high as Otis soared on the field, his personal life hit many lows. Otis has turned these lows into his personal testimony to share with others. Through his Otis Nixon Foundation, he is providing mentoring through various outreach programs. He is also happy to come to your church to share his past and hopefully show others just because you fall down doesn't mean you can't get up. Jesus loves us all, even in our darkest moments. If you would like to help Otis spread his message, please visit his website, www.otisnixon1foundation.org. That's www.otisnixon1foundation. Have seemingly disappeared, Coach Wayne Buckingham started W.A.B Sports. His focus is on mentoring our younger generation and teaching valuable life skills that go way beyond the field of play. Whether it's football or basketball, he has a specialized sports camp designed to address the challenges the youth of today face daily. He believes it's all about teaching healthy habits now in order for those lessons to be applied to their future decisions. W.A.B Sports raises the money for these camps with various charity golf tournaments yearly. W.A.B Sports also offers scholarships so that these young men and women have a greater chance at success in their life after sports. Coach Wayne truly believes the best thing in life is making a positive difference. W.A.B Sports depends solely on donation. If you feel led to donate, contact Coach Wayne Buckingham at WABsports4@gmail.com. That's WABsports4@gmail.com.
Hey, how you doing? We are back here with WAB Sports Talk. Hope everything's going well. Trying to get my phone get logged in and everything. My bear with us. I don't know what's going on and everything. And most definitely will. So been going pretty good around the Clemson land these past few weeks. Clemson football is getting ready for a good matchup here up in Pittsburgh. We'll be talking about the Clemson football team and they match up and everything. But up in Pittsburgh, Dabo said it was the first time that he ever played in Pittsburgh. Been to Pittsburgh. So first time. It's going to be a great matchup with the Tigers in the Pittsburgh. We coming off a big win last week, dealing with Clemson football. The offense is still struggling a little bit, but they're working hard, trying to get things together. I think this week they will look a whole lot better this week, and everything. And I'm trying to get this stuff sent out, get these guys in, man. Just bear with me for a minute and get everybody logged on. Here's another commercial that we had from this past summer for our celebrity golf tournament we hold every year in Clemson to help benefit our alumni and everything. And hey, this is Wayne Buckingham, former Clemson alumni.
Hello, I'm Cliff Ellis.
Hey everybody, Grayson Marshall Jr., 1984, 1988.
I'm David Angel. I was the first 7-footer here at Clemson.
Hey, what's going on? Terrell McIntyre.
Hey, Levon Kirkland here.
Glad to have y'all out here for our second annual Clemson Alumni Reunion Weekend. Everything is going very well. This is a tournament that we do every year to help one of our former players. We started it last year with Mr. Sharon Wright. Man, we all came together, came back to Clemson, put this on. This year we're doing Mr. Brian Mans. He had a disease that he went to sleep, woke up, he's paralyzed from the neck down. This great event is for him and a couple local charities here in the community. We all came back again together. We got a lot of celebrities. Y'all will see them later on.
Very proud to be here. One of our former players, Wayne Buckingham, puts an event on that kind of brings people together, and it's for great causes. Try to help young men out that are Clemson people that are struggling, having issues. Very proud that the people that have been at Clemson give back, and what Wayne is doing is just a wonderful thing, and I'm very proud of it. Clemson's always been about family, and I think it shows when you come to an event like this, because people get together, come together, and unite, for the right reason, good cause. And it gives a chance for people to come back and see each other. You get to see people. You don't have to wait every 10, 15, 20 years to see somebody. You can do it every year. The golf game will be what it is. It is what it is. It'll be some good shots, bad shots. But the main thing is just getting with everybody and bonding and spending some great time together. Just a good day.
What an awesome and phenomenal opportunity we have to share and change somebody's life. You know what Wayne Buckingham has done in the past 2 years, coordinating all this, getting so many former players together. Last year for Sharon Wright, this year for Brian, says a lot about this family. And every year it's kind of a different group. But to be here again with Homer Jordan, to be here again with Katie Dunn, Big O, T-Mac, it just feels good to be here. The Clemson family extends way beyond any arena or any football field we play on. It extends to the heart of who you are as a Clemson Tiger.
And this is truly the Clemson family getting together to support one another. But it's not just athletes. Invariably, Clemson people everywhere support each other. This is just...
Hey, welcome back to W.A.B Sports Talk here on this Thursday night. We have our host, hey, Mr. Tim Murray, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, Buck. I'm not quite sure how I'm on. You sent me a link on my phone and it came up, but for some reason my computer just spins and spins.
Right.
Oh,
right.
I can see myself on my computer, but I can't see you, but I can see you on my phone. So anyway, yeah, I think it'll work out, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know why is that. It's the same link. I got good signal over here, but just glad to have you join the show tonight. Waiting on Sharon will be joining us later on. I guess he's trying to come on. But we started the show, Tim, and like I say, this is Thursday night sports talk, man. Good to have you. Always want to check in, see what's going on around Clemson. But I what my first topic today I wanted to talk to you about. It's almost November the 1st, and my basketball, my Clemson Tigers basketball team is about to ready to jump off preseason with the preseason with the Georgia State, I think, right?
It's not Georgia State. It's another school from. Actually, we have the top secret scrimmage, Buck. The NCAA allows you to scrimmage against another Division I team now.
Wow.
And so you do that, but you can't publicize it. So I can just tell you that the Tigers will be playing in a closed gym somewhere down in Atlanta this weekend against an SEC team. And so they go down there and they'll scrimmage against each other. The coaches will keep stats, but you're not allowed to write a story about it and say who won the game or whatever. It's kind of a crazy rule that they have. Oh, what a surprise, Buck. We have some crazy NCAA rules. I know you're familiar with that.
Right.
But we will have another there will be an open scrimmage in Little John, and then we open the season November the 9th against Presbyterian, I know. So yeah, it's right around the corner. I went to a little practice today, and I think we're going to be at least at the start, the opposite of what the 1993-94 Tigers were, which was a very front court oriented team with the two young men I'm on with tonight. We've got some good guards who've really looked good in the preseason. Couple of scrimmages I've gone to. Dawes, I think, is going to have a really good year. He and Nick Honor are a nice little combination in the backcourt. And looking forward to Alex Hemingway, who's a really good outside shooter, 42.3% on threes so far in his career. Looking for him to step up as another a wing. And then P.J. Hall, I think, is going to be a much improved guy on the inside. As I said before, Amir Sims was really an amazing player for us. Each of the last 2 years, he led us in scoring, rebounding, and assists. He's the only player in ACC history to do that 2 years in a row for a league team. Now, we're going to miss him a lot, but we will have a little bit more inside presence with P.J. Hall, who's put on about 15 pounds and redistributed about 20 others. So it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, because I saw where they said we had, I guess, about 4 or 5 guys returning back from last year's team that, with the trade portal and stuff. So I'm looking to see how we're going to jump off. I know our first home game, a real game, is November the 1st. And it does have, I was seeing that it says Georgia Southern. Is that Georgia Southwest?
Georgia Southwest. It's yeah, I figure you might know them better than I do. That is an exhibition game, Buck. We're going to have the preseason scrimmage with another Division I team, and then we have a non-Division I team that would play Georgia Southwest on that November 1st, and then the first real game is Presbyterian November 9th.
November 9th. Okay, that starts up at Little John at home.
Yes, I can see that we have Mr. Sharon Wright has joined us.
Hey, yeah.
Yes, sir.
How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing well, man. My mama said, if you don't have anything good to say, then don't say anything at all. So, as opposed to Clemson basketball, I have nothing to say.
Hey, big time, you got to support. Hey, it's a new season. A new year.
I never said I wasn't supporting it.
We got to see what's going on.
If you don't have anything good to say, and I learned that from Tim Beret as well. I'm not gonna say anything. I'll just digress. I can't. And I support Go Tigers, no matter what. I get that, but if you don't have anything good to say, then don't say anything. So
that's cool. Just make sure y'all pay attention. Our first home game. Just make sure y'all know our first home game is Friday, November the 9th. We'll be at Little John Coliseum. Uh, Tickets go on sale. Game is at 7 p.m. that night. Come out and support your Clemson Tigers for our 2022 year.
It's the Friday night before we play. Now, you know what? That's not a Friday night. That's a Wednesday night.
It's a Wednesday night.
It's a midweek. That's a midweek game because we play at Louisville in football on November the 7th.
Right. It's on a Tuesday, Tim. It's Tuesday, November 9th.
Yeah.
That's that first home game. So, yeah,
Right.
it's at 7 p.m. That's 6 p.m. Our time, 7 p.m. y'all's time.
Now, are you guys aware of the little demonstration we're doing the Friday night before the Florida State football game? We're going to have kind of like a little midnight madness at 5:30 in the afternoon on Bowman Field. They're going to put up a court on Bowman Field.
On Bowman Field?
And Bowman Field,
Wow.
outside hoops. The men and the women are going to be introduced. Like I said, it's the Friday night before the Florida State game, so we hope to have a nice crowd there. They're going to put out a court and set up hoops and going to have various skill. They're not going to scrimmage, but they're going to have various skill challenges, like a three-point shooting contest, which I'm sure Sharon would win if he was here, as he did win the McDonald's All-American game way back in like 1991. And so they're going to have free throw shooting contests and all kind of other different things, giveaways for the fans. So it's going to be kind of cool to have outdoor hoops. That's going to be interesting to see. And, a little trivia for the both of you. In 1908-09, believe it or not, Clemson actually played games outside on Bowman Field. We have the pictures to prove it. And there wasn't a court down. They played on, like, the grass. And amazing. They had hoops up outside. I'll dig up those pictures and send it to you. That's kind of fascinating to see.
That's crazy. That's nice.
Crazy.
So what's the dates, Tim? Where everybody can know what's the dates and the time of that?
Yeah, it's Friday. Let's see. It's Friday. What is that? The 29th. It's at 5:30. Just go over to Bowman Field, the same area where when we've had game day before. Go over there and close to the street. And I'm kind of fascinated to see what it's going to look like.
Yeah, that's gonna be really cool. That's
hopefully,
kind of like when they do the games on the battleships and stuff. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. And, I don't know. You guys, Clemson and Auburn are famous for being similar. I know you guys have both been to Auburn, and they got that administration building looks just like Clemson's administration building. But I did notice that about 10 days ago, Auburn had an outdoor event like this. They set up baskets at Toomer's, corner, where they throw the toilet paper if they win on those trees. Yeah. And so they had it all set up out there. So that was on the street at that famous corner. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. We used to go to Tillman Hall, and we used to do parties and stuff up there when there was a big football game, and then we were going to open up basketball. We used to go up there and do little things up there. So I remember that's pretty good tradition there. We have a rich history of supporting the basketball program. So I'm really excited about that.
So Tim,
speaking of Auburn, I do remember that, Sharon, you had one of your better games of your career in the NIT against Auburn. A game we won 84 to 72. That was a terrific game that we had. I mean, Chris Whitney had a good night, and you and Devin. That was a neat atmosphere, as I remember, because when the NIT comes to town, they have open seating, and the ticket prices aren't as high. And as I remember, we filled up the lower bowl of Little John, and it was a great atmosphere. I thought it was pretty cool. I remember that game.
They were really good that year too. They should have went to.
They were. They had one of the persons. Wesley Person.
Yeah, Wesley was on that team. I played against him in NBA as well. Good guy.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay. Yeah.
So Tim,
Tough
let me ask you
person's
this,
brother.
Tim. I seen where they did a camp for older guys this past weekend at Clemson. In Little John, there was a basketball clinic for. Do you remember that? Do you call that?
You know, I was out of town, Buck, with the football team, so I did not see about that. I don't know who was in charge of it or who did that. I was unfortunately, I have to say that's news to me. I didn't know that because I
When
was
I
with
say camp,
football.
it was more older men. I think with children that's not, I don't want to use the word that mentally challenged. They had them
Oh,
out there and they was doing drills with them, and I thought that was real nice of them spending time with mentally
Oh,
challenged.
it probably was Clemson one. I did it one year with Patrick Sapp and them. It's probably that, Tim. It's probably Clemson one.
might have been. I know all of our teams are active with the Clemson Life program. Now,
I'm sorry,
I
Clemson
know.
Life. Sorry.
Yeah, Clemson Life. I know Dabo every year has the Clemson Life students over to practice during the open date. And I remember one year he surprised him, and which was really cool. So they came to practice, and at the end of practice, he blew his whistle and he said, "All right, we're going to take a trip." And he had arranged to have the same bus that the team uses to go around to the hill before a game to come and pick these
Oh
kids up.
man.
And they took them around to the top of the hill, and they got to rub the rock and run down the hill. And I tell you what, those students were so thrilled. I mean, Dabo led them. He blew his whistle, and they all went down the hill. It was really cool.
That's cool.
Hey, that's but you know what though, man? It's stuff like that he doesn't get credit for. Like people don't see the stuff he doing. Let me give you a story. So I had an AAU team with my boys. And
Yep.
one kid, I had one kid, his name was Joe, Justin Joe. He's a big defensive tackle. But he was like my kids, all of my group, my AAU through Adidas, through Merle Cole, actually. And I took the team and they were like maybe 9 years old at the time. They were called Carolina Chaos. And I took them to a game at Clemson. It was a game against Tennessee. It was a Coaches for Cancer game. So I go up and I had told Tim, you don't even remember that I told you that I wanted to meet Dabo for the first time, and you made it happen. He came over and started talking to me, and I was like, wow, like it's and everything that you said he was about. He was so cool. But what I did was I brought Joe and let him meet Joe. Right now, Justin Joe is one of the best defensive tackles in the state of South Carolina now. And
Wow.
he's a big Clemson fan. At the time, he was only 9 years old. And then he took pictures with Dabo. Dabo was just like, and that made his night. He talked about that, man. I'm talking about a kid that comes from nothing. That kid still remembers that. He's a lifelong Clemson fan, and he's a lifelong Dabo Sweeney fan after that.
That's great.
That's the type of person
Yeah,
that he is.
there's all kind of stories like that. I mean, I had one. Recently I got a call from a buddy of mine who's friend who goes to church with a family who's the father passed away from COVID. He was only 44 years old. Left a 6-year-old son. The family was a big Clemson supporter. So when he had his birthday a couple of weeks ago, I told Dabo about the story, and we got a football for him, and Dabo did a video for the kid, and we sent that kid. So he got a video from Dabo on his birthday. So that's the way he is.
That's the type of person he is. Yeah, man. And when I was coming there, first of all, it was he had an announcement to make at halftime. But I'm talking about he came over there and spoke to me. He knew I'm close to Tim. And he just spoke to me for a long time. He was talking about basketball. He was talking about my career. He knew everything about me. He knew me. I had never met him before. All I know is what Tim told me. And you talking about a great dude. And he gets a lot of flack. I don't understand it. I mean, it's hard when you're a public figure And everything you say is taken out of context.
Oh
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Says is taken out of context. There's a racial
Yeah,
stuff
whenever you win like that, did you know that, Sharon? When you win like that, you're high profile, or people are always looking for ways to knock you. And a lot of people just don't believe that he's as genuine as he is, but he is. That is not a phony bone in his body. But I must tell you, Sharon, I didn't have to clue him in much, but he follows the NBA like, he's a huge NBA fan. So I'm sure he knew you were first round draft pick and knew all about you before you even met him.
He did, and it was just great meeting him. And obviously, I know if I see him again, it'll be great. So
yeah.
All right,
Now
so
we can
guys,
pull that off.
so let's move on to the next subject. Next subject, Tim. I know you went up to Syracuse, and I want to talk about the game before we talk about this upcoming to Pittsburgh. Let's talk about Syracuse. What did you think about the Syracuse game, and with us having that week off, the bye off? How do you feel DJ did, and what did you see or being there this past weekend? What's your feel on the game?
Well, Clemson football, as you could tell going into this, we've created a monster when it comes to expectations after 6 consecutive trips to the Final Four, so to speak, to put it in basketball terms. So when we had 2 weeks to prepare for Syracuse, everybody expected that we were going to score 40 points and win by 4 touchdowns. And, that just wasn't the way, that it is. We're not as good on offense as we have been. That's the fact of life. But we also probably aren't as productive offensively because we play to our strength, and our strength is defense. So that has a lot to do with the way we approach games. Now, all that said, I thought the running game was improved. We have improved. We're averaging 4.3 yards per rush, which is the same average that the 2016 national championship team had. And in games that have not been played against the world's greatest defense, meaning Georgia, we averaged 4.8 yards a carry. Georgia just killed us on the ground that first game. We had only 2 yards rushing in 23 attempts. So I do think that the ground and credit to that kid Trotter, who found out the day of the game he was going to have to start. That's when we learned that the other guy, Rayburn, had tested positive for COVID. So this guy had not played a snap all year because he had a broken left hand. So he had been practicing, but he took the cast off, and except for that one bad snap, I thought he did very well. Now the coaches feel that DJ had his best game. He was 21 of 34, so that was over 60%. And, he had 3 drops, and quite frankly, he could have been 24 for 34 for about 250 yards. So, I think he did play decently, but we just didn't, put the ball in the end zone or score as many points. Now this week, I think we're going to get some guys back. Feel very optimistic that Shipley's going to play this week. We're going to have the same offensive line for 2 weeks in a row for the first time all season, so that should help things out on offense. And we get Booth back in the secondary, and I think Tyler Davis is going to see some action this weekend, which is 3 weeks ahead of schedule. Originally, he was going to be out for 7 weeks, but I think he could see some action this weekend too. So I guess I answered 2 questions at once there. But anyway, I don't know if you guys saw the game, what your thoughts were.
Go ahead, Sharon.
I thought we played well. I was very enthusiastic about the game because see, I don't have big time expectations for this team like there has been in other years. I'm patient because I'm an alumni, and when you're an alumni, you're gonna cheer for a team regardless of that. I'm gonna be a Clemson Tiger no matter what. But that being said, I wanted to see some improvement. I definitely saw us stay very consistent defensively. There's a guy that had 100-something yards in the first half for Syracuse, but then we just completely shut him down the second half. So he didn't get loose or anything. As far as injuries go, I mean, we are playing with a lot of injuries, so I think there needs to be a little bit of patience because when Tyler Davis is pretty good, he's an All-American, and Brian Bresee is an All-American. Those guys, when you're playing without them, and Rook's doing a really good job. He and Williams, they're doing a pretty good job. Because we have missed a step. I mean, you can't replace Tyler Davis, and I hope he plays this week. But like having him down the stretch is going to be key. We won't get Bresee back. Getting Andrew Booth back, he's probably the best corner in the country. So you get that, and that locks up that side of the field. But Mario's doing well. I mean, we're doing well. Trenton's playing okay. Venable's playing gay. Scousey's doing what he do. Like we're doing pretty well. And of course, we have a situation at defensive end. Like we're stocked, and Xavier's having a really good year. So Xavier Thomas having a really good year. So I mean, you remember that time we did a show and we talked about the 6-year seniors. I do think that's playing a part in the guys that we're playing. And the teams we're playing, they have 5- and 6-year kids. And we're playing with a lot of freshmen, a lot of kids that got to find their way. And it's getting really bad. Sometimes experience counts. So in that game right there, I like what we did. DJ played really good. And you're right, even guys that on our wide receiver core, they've dropped some passes. Even Joseph and Goddard dropped some passes. I mean, EJ and all, they all dropped passes. Otherwise, he'd have had close to 300 yards. But then they still would have came back to him and said, he's not this and that. We can't wait till Klubnik get there. I'd be like, kid. He's a 5-star kid that came all the way across the country to be a part of our culture. And you're bashing him because he had a couple of games that were substantial. Like, really? Come on, man. I remember Deshaun Watson's first games at Georgia. I remember all that. I remember Trevor not playing well at certain times. I remember Kelly Bryant, who did a really mop-up job for us. We were in between great quarterbacks with Kelly Bryant. And we still won 12 games, still went to the college. I mean, we still did well. They're just fickle fans, man. It hurts me to see it. But especially with a kid like DJ, who after a game where he doesn't play as well, stays at Death Valley throwing the ball.
Right.
Like, they're kids. Like, and I was athletes, and it's always somebody who didn't play the game. That's different. You can call the game, you can talk about the game, but if you play the game, it's different. I'm sorry. It's different. So people who did not play the game, they don't understand it. They don't understand the thing you told me about Mike Williams, Tim. That they don't understand that. They don't understand the things that kids go through.
But but on another thing, Sharon, too, talking about that, DJ, I think he did a wonderful job to the point of dealing what we had to deal with because, like Tim said earlier, if we had Ross we had a lot of drop passes that could have been touchdowns or whatever because he didn't have no interceptions. He was 21 for 34, had 181 yards. He actually DJ played better that game in the Syracuse game that he did the game before. As a team,
yeah, of course.
As a team, it all falls on the quarterback because he's the guy. But at the same time, he's only as good as his receivers help him to be good. I did see more accuracy on his passes this past game. Guys was getting ball hit them in the chest, they dropped the ball. I think the receivers got to step their game up. It's like everybody. It's just not one person. Everybody got to step their game up and play that quality of football that they're capable of playing. If you got one loose link in the chain, it makes the chain bad. But I did feel a lot better watching the game this past weekend, and I think they're going to do a wonderful job. I think I'm not rah that playoff whatever, but just on the point of us being young, I really think by the time we get ready to playoff time, that not me playoff going to the bowl game, the team is going to be where they need to be. I think the offensive line is doing a lot better this past week, protection DJ. I just hope the receivers this next because this is our first time going. Ain't this our first time going to Pittsburgh, Tim?
Ever.
Ever, yeah.
Yeah.
So I know
Ever.
Abo said it was his first time ever being there. Uh, like I say, it's another opportunity for us to even better ourselves. I think that's we all saying. But I think we're gonna be in for a rude awakening this come Saturday. I think not slipping on Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh got a nice team. Got a nice team. They got a great defense. They get after you. They got one of the best linebackers, defensive end linebackers playing. But I think from this past weekend, I think the guys they are building to get back to that caliber that we're used to watching us play. But a lot of people out here got to understand that it was a process that we had to go through. And like you said, a lot of last year being a COVID, a lot of 6-year players coming back. We young. We have a young quarterback that's a 5-star. But I really believe the next few games he's going to bust out. The offense is going to bust out. So we haven't really been slacking on defense. Our defense in the top 5, right, Tim?
The second in scoring defense in the nation. We're only giving up 12 points a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and our punt return defense, the special teams is up there. I mean, we only thing is our problem is putting more points on the board on the offensive end. But overall, we got one loose link. But overall, that defense can play that our defense can play for a national championship. You know what I'm saying? Because we got that caliber defense, even as we being hurt. Because we got guys stepping up doing what they do. We just got to get everybody else on par. Our punt return is good. Our receiving team is good. We just got to get that hump, get over that little hump, And I think this Pittsburgh game is like the Syracuse game was a big part, and I think the Pittsburgh game is going to take us even further. And because right now, people when you're on top, they love to put you down when you start falling off the hill. They're gonna find
Yeah, no,
everything. They're gonna find everything.
You're 100% right. I was going to say you're 100% right, Buck. The other thing I was going to say, we're in such an offensive mindset now in football and basketball. If we had lost to Georgia 37-34, or 37-30 instead of 10-3, and the NC State game was, 34-30 in 2 overtimes, we'd probably be ranked in the top 15 in the nation. But everybody is so offensive oriented when they evaluate teams. But our defense has been, so good. And like I said at the beginning, it affects because our defense is good. You're going to play to your strength, as you guys know, having been, athletes. I know when you guys played basketball, there was the feeling that, if we lost a game 85-80, we played far better than if we lost a game 60-55. That's just the mindset that people are in for whatever reason they're in this offensive mindset.
Yeah, that's true.
So let me say this, Tim. I was talking to Donnell yesterday. We was talking on the phone, and if we really, you just said, first game we played was against Georgia. That's a top team. Just ask yourself, if we didn't won that overtime game against NC State, where would we be at today? Even with messed up offense, where would we be today? Would we be out of the top 4?
Well, we'd still be in the top 10. Like I say, if we'd have been a little bit more high scoring, we'd probably be ranked higher. But you're right. I mean, in that NC State game, we could have easily won that second overtime. It sure looked like Ross's shoulder was held when he was trying to turn back and catch the ball. If he caught it, of course, it would have been a touchdown, and then we could have gone. You have to go for 2 in the second overtime now. So, we could have easily won that game if that pass had been, completed. But yeah, you're right. I mean, you could look at our team a lot of different ways, but the bottom line, we've got 2 losses. We've lost to 2 ranked teams. The number 1 team in the country who we held to 3 points offensively, and the number 15 team we lost in double overtime.
Mm-hmm. And I love that, and I think, like I said, true Clemson people will understand that.
So
And if you would not hold that against us if you were here in all the other years. If you saw us when we were Hatfield years, or we were Tommy West years, or some of those Bowden years when we were really struggling to try to get where we're at right now. We're trying to get there. And we stumble a little bit. First of all, the parity and everything that goes into college football, you are not gonna win the national championship every year, people. You're not gonna win the national championship every year, and you're not gonna be top five. We've been blessed. We've been to 5 straight, college playoffs. But when we
6.
don't make that, there is some room to grow. We got to grow. The times are changing, and we still got one of the best recruiting classes coming in. So the culture still stays. That's why I love this when they say best is the standard. When Dabo says that, that's what he means. It's gonna be tough times. I mean, some of these people are ridiculous. And I think, to start the finger pointing or Dabo's interested in the LSU job. Man, Dabo has got the best situation of any coach in the country. It would be stupid to go. I mean, I ain't calling him stupid, but like, why would you go to LSU where you got to win the national championship every year? He doesn't have to win the national championship every year. We just have to play good football, and he's been doing that. And they love it. And it's about culture. It's not about wins. It's about the culture that you put out there. And that guy has established a culture. That's why he want to stay. That's why Kathleen Sweeney want to stay. They could easily go to NFL if they wanted that. If they wanted more money, he's making $9 million a year. People have to do your homework, stupid. Like, you can't, it's ridiculous, some of the things I hear. But again, our program is great.
So this week we played. This Pittsburgh team has been pretty good. Somehow they lost to Western Michigan, but I think they were feeling a high after they won at Tennessee, and everybody was patting them on the back. But as Buck said earlier,
that stuff.
They're a lot better defensively than people give them credit for. They're averaging 48 points a game and third in the country in scoring. So that's going to be a fascinating matchup of our defense against their offense. Number 3 scoring team against the number 2 defensive team in the country.
Yeah, I think so too. But let's look at it this way. Pickett is really good. Pickett is an NFL quarterback.
Yep.
It has been for a minute. Defensively, they're very underrated. They got a great receiving core. Defensively, like I said, they're going to challenge us. Offensively, if we roll offensively the way we're capable of, we'll beat them. But it's not going to be easy, nowhere near. So when this score is very close, people are going to still say, well, it's Tony Elliott's fault. Like, are you kidding me? Pittsburgh is really good. If they were in the SEC, they would be, I don't know. They're very good.
Yeah, they already won at Tennessee, so that showed me something. But so you guys, I did tape the pregame interview with Dabo earlier this afternoon, and he said it's interesting that they, the teams have done kind of well against us. Have been the teams that play kind of bend but don't break, play 3 deep safeties and all that kind of stuff. He said Pittsburgh does not do that. They try to stop the run, and they play man-to-man on the outside in the secondary. So he said the key to the game is going to be us hitting some downfield passes. So obviously they've been working on that. I'm sure hoping Ross has a big game and DJ can hit those passes, but I think that's going to be a big key to the game. And it'll be a little, in some ways, it'll be a little easier for DJ in that he's going to see man-to-man coverage instead of all these different zones and having to worry about guys coming from different directions. So if the offensive line can give him time, and they've done a good job of that. We've only given up 5 sacks the last 5 games, just 1 per game. So if we can, hold him out and give him time to throw, that's going to be a key.
This is going to be the game, Tim, where that great recruiting class and that great receiver corps, Dakari Collins, Bo Collins, Justin Ross, EJ, like, you know what I'm saying? Though, if Frank's going to have a great game. I wish Latson would just play 1 game for me. He's had a lot of injuries, but
he's a lot of injuries.
He's going to score. He's gonna have over 300 yards. Trust me, in this game, he is. And then if we can run the ball consistently, and I think Kobe's playing very well.
Yeah,
and Marcus playing well too. And if we get Sweeney back, man, we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be total. So I'm excited.
That's gonna be fun. 3:30 game. I guess that's what 12:30 your time, Sharon.
Yeah, it's 12:30. So I'm looking forward to it.
And 2:30 on Buckingham Standard Time.
Yeah, I'll get my wings and my beer. We'll be good. I have a topic though, Tim, I want to ask you about before we go.
Yeah.
So I'm an unofficial Luke Fickell fan club.
Yeah.
And I love Cincinnati. I think,
yeah,
other than Georgia, Cincinnati's the best team in the country. Have you watched them? They are really good.
Well, of course, I watched them play against Notre Dame, and they sure beat a good Notre Dame team in Notre Dame Stadium, ending Notre Dame's 26-game winning streak. So, they obviously showed us something there. The only thing you're concerned about from Cincinnati standpoint is, there aren't any more games with ranked teams. But it's going to be fascinating to see how the committee looks at them. But obviously, what's different from, the years a few years ago, UCF was undefeated and they couldn't get in the playoff, but they didn't have a win on their resume like winning at Notre Dame Stadium. And they're going to get a little bit credit for the way they played against Georgia last year in the I guess it was in the Peach Bowl. They looked pretty good, and a lot of it has to do with how you look to the committee. I mean, there's that, and they've looked really good. You got to give them credit.
Well, my whole thing is this: it's the whole aura of what they're doing. It's not so much as with the wins, because they win, and when they win, other than Notre Dame, they beat Notre Dame. But every other win is like a dramatic win. Like they're blowing out teams. Everybody they play, they have, and you know what? Statistics don't lie. Like statistically, they're one of the best teams in the country, and they are. To me, they're number 2 team in the country right now. You know what I'm saying? So I just think they're tough.
Well, I think they're number 2 in the AP poll too. So
I feel we're gonna do good this weekend. I'm excited. I'm excited about it.
Hello, you there?
We lost you, Buck. I can hear you, but I can't hear him.
So the next.
Yeah, he's going out.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold.
We lost you, Buck.
We lost you. Hello? Well, TB?
I guess we're going to have to wrap it up ourselves here. I did want to ask you, so you guys, has your team started practice?
Oh, yeah. We started. We've already played a few games already.
Oh, you have? Really? Wow.
Yeah, we got 5 5-stars and 4 4-stars here. Tim,
so
everybody in the country is here, Tim. Everybody. I talked to. I've met with John Shire. I've met with Kansas coach. I'm talking about. They're all here. Jawan, you saw the picture with me and Jawan right there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just. But Tim, guess who's not here?
Okay, you made your point.
Okay, all right.
Who do you play against? Prep schools, or who do you play against?
Everybody, national, like Oak Hill. We play Oak Hill this year.
Oh, you play Oak Hill? Like wow.
Yeah.
You got any games on TV coming up?
The Oak Hill game will be on TV.
Okay.
Yeah. So Sunrise Christian, they're very good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we play Oak Hill twice this year.
Okay, wow. I'll have to look those up.
We beat them by 20 last year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We're pretty
All
tough,
right,
man. I
Buck.
gotta tell you.
We'll talk to you soon, Buck. Sorry we can't hear you.
Signing off. All right,
Signing
TG.
off. See
All
ya.
right.